it's a life skill that every child needs to know. A hands-on lesson in swimming. Getting caught in a riptide can affect even the strongest of swimmers, but every child in Florida really should know how to swim. And it's important to start young, too. Last week, we showed you this viral video of a 16-month-old who swims like a pro. His toddler went from one side of the pool to the other, even flipped on her back when she got tired. That video has shocked the web, but Fox 13's Alcides Agee is with somebody who says that she's not surprised. In fact, he says he's seen it all the time. Good morning, Alcides.
And good morning to you. That's exactly right. Corey Nelson is a swimming instructor. He's been doing it for several years. And just a little while ago, we were showing a video of a 16-month-old swimming from one side of the pool to the other, then got tired and flipped over on its side. And you say that is critical to make sure these kids are safe.
Absolutely. That child was taught exactly right how to swim, float, swim, and save themselves, but also proper swimming for as they get older.
And the summer's here. Whether we go swimming in the pool or go to the Gulf or the Atlantic side, wherever you vacation, you're likely going to be in the swimming pool. Kids are going to be in the swimming pool. What's the one technique we can teach our kids?
Well, one technique that I would actually recommend is getting proper swimming instruction, where a child swims properly, learns how to float.
Now, I gotta admit, my son's 2 years old, and I was telling you, he's got the life vest. I would say he's got the floats here in the front and the side, and it's the whole outfit, right?
I fight those every day.
You fight? Why? Why is that?
What that does is it teaches kids to be straight up and down in the water, and it teaches them that if they ever fall in, they're going to be straight up and down in the water. Everything I teach is for them to be flat on the water. Swim, to float, is proper swimming posture, but it's also much safer.
Okay, what are we going to do all morning?
We're going to do one-on-one lessons from children ages about 8 months to about 8 years of age. Everything's one-on-one.
Including a younger, you were saying you can start as young as 6 months?
Right, exactly. I have several, I'm not sure exactly what my youngest is this morning, but I have a bunch of 1, 2, 3-year-olds this morning. So,
what do you teach a 6-month-old?
Learn to fall in, float on their back, also begin teaching them to swim.
And floating it's just easier for them as well, but harder to teach?
It is a bit harder to teach, but once they get it, it just becomes natural to them.
Wow. And your courses are 12 minutes long?
Right, exactly. It's short, consistent lessons for young kids.
All right. So that's coming up at 7:30. We'll have just about every hour here on Good Day Tampa Bay. Corey's going to teach all these kids how to swim, and we're going to learn some lessons as well in the swimming pool. It'll be really neat, so keep tuned here to Good Day Tampa Bay. Back to you guys in the studio.
Parental supervision, though, still a necessity, even with a child who can swim.
No question,
yeah,
Ann.
Absolutely. All right, thanks.
With some life-saving tips this morning.
Hey, good morning, Russell. Corey Nelson, one of the best swimming instructors here in the Bay Area. Take a look at this little guy here. He is 3 years old, 3 years old, and this little guy can float and he can swim the length of the pool. Coming up on Good Day Tampa Bay, we're going to learn some tips to teach our kids how to swim in the swimming pool and how we can keep them safe this summer. Back to you guys.
Apollo Beach this morning with some lessons. Good morning.
Hey, good morning to you, and joining us this morning is Corey Nelson. He's been an instructor here in the Bay Area for several years, and this little guy is 3 years old. His name is Will, and he is so talented. He actually goes from one side of the swimming pool to the other, and it's all because he actually has lessons 5 days a week, 12-minute lessons, one-on-one lessons. All right, Corey, what are you teaching him here?
I'm working on the swim, float, swim with him, really trying to keep his head down when he's swimming. Will's a very talented little guy, so just improving his swim at this point, keeping him safe.
And one thing, he's got a little cough, too. It looks like he's getting sick, which makes it even more challenging for you as well.
As long as it's not anything major sickness-wise, little cold's not a big deal, but he's having fun.
How long has he been coming to you?
Since about April.
Since about April? Mm-hmm. So what's the first thing you teach him as soon as you get him?
Pretty much the first thing I do is get his head wet. And then I start building a swim, working to the wall, and working on a float.
Okay, show us what you were doing a little while ago, because it was really incredible.
Sure, go ahead and get your float for us, Will. Oh, he's going to take off on me. What do you guys want? Will, come swim to me, bud. All the way. Eyes down, please. Kick, please. Kick.
And one of the things that you're doing, see how he puts his head up, you actually push his head down because you want him to see to the ground. Why?
Yeah, I want him nice and flat on the water. As kids first of all, it's proper swimming posture, so he's learning to swim correctly. But if kids start popping their heads up too much and get straight up and down, that's when they get themselves on trouble. They want to be nice and flat on the water.
You teach this to kids that are 6 months old?
6 months and up.
Wow. All right, coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, we actually got some video of one of the students, 6 months old, gave him a little tap, and she landed in the water and actually flipped over and just floated. It was absolutely amazing what this instructor has been able to do. Well, and pretty much all morning, he's got a book schedule. We're going to be having kids in the pool. We'll learn some tips on making sure we keep our kids safe for the summer, especially with as many drownings as we've had here in the Bay Area so far. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, swimmers. But every child in Florida should really learn to swim, and it's important to start young, too. Fox 13's Alcides Agee is live this morning in Apollo Beach with a certified infant swim instructor. Good morning.
Good morning, Ann. You can start as young as, believe it or not, 6 months old. Corey Nelson taught a 6-month-old how to float on her back, which was absolutely incredible. I don't know if we can go to that video now because it'll really grab your attention early on in the story so you can get a good idea of what he's able to teach these kids at such a young age. This little girl was 6 months old, and you gave her a little nudge into the pool, and within a second or two, she was right on her back.
Yep, she went right over to her float, saving herself just in case there's ever an accident.
Well, first off, how do you teach a baby to do that?
It's all with positive reinforcement. They give me a move that I want them to give, and I reinforce that by picking them up and giving them what they want, which is air and to be picked up. So as soon as they give me the right position, that's reinforced. So right now I'm getting this little boy's belly up, and then he gets what he wants, which is picked up and back to swimming, huh?
He's like, yeah, whatever you say.
We're good with it, nobody.
All right, so the other question is, what are you doing right now?
Working on just building his swim. He's really good. He's been swimming for a while. He's 2 years old. He does a swim, float, swim. I'm trying to get him a little bit flatter on the water, a little bit better float. No kicks while he's floating, so he's nice and safe if he ever needs to float for a long time, but also proper swimming posture.
Okay, and it's never this easy because I've been watching you all morning because you've had several kids, and you get I don't want to say most of them, but a handful cry because they want to either, they want the air, like you said. It's even hard to explain that.
Yeah, most kids will cry when they first start out with swim lessons. Every child's different, but usually once they get past the initial kind of shock and I'm a stranger to them, then it gets past and then they can really start having fun and they're much safer in the water too. So.
Okay, one of the things that and you can go ahead and let this little guy do what he was doing, but one of the things that you were doing is holding his neck down as he swims, and that goes back to the posture what you were talking about.
Right, exactly. It's all about posture for swimming. I don't necessarily recommend that parents go out and just start shoving their kids' heads up, but with him, he starts to swim and his head's up just a little bit. So I want a little bit flatter posture so he's right on top of the water, head down. And that'll just improve his swim for as he gets older. So.
And the biggest message that I think that you want to convey and what I want to convey is that people should get a swimming instructor. Do not do what you're doing here because this is very, very complicated.
Exactly, yeah.
This right here, there's no way I would do that.
Exactly. Noelle's been training me, the girl right here, with me for a while. I'm teaching her to be an instructor as well, to go out and do lessons. And I think she could attest as well. It's not just easy. It looks easy out there, but it's not. You need a trained instructor that knows what they're doing. I've been doing this for years, and I teach dozens of kids each day. So,
Corey, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We're going to... coming up at 9 o'clock hour, we're going to also see another technique that's so amazing. He actually flips the babies. So if the kid is head down in the water, he flips them on their side to actually get them start to actually float. And it's really amazing how he's able to do that. And these sessions are only 12 minutes long, but they are intense. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks very much. Alcides Agee reporting for us from Apollo Beach. And of course, nothing beats protecting our kids one swim lesson at a time. Coming up at 9:30, Alcides Agee will show us why it's never too young to start.
This is Good Day Tampa Bay. Welcome, everybody. Well, we know this summer is here. Boy, is it here. School is out. It's time to hit the pool or hit the beach. But we've seen so many stories. We know this. There are dangers, especially when kids are involved, swimming in the pool, falling into the pool. Well, you have to wonder, when do you start teaching a kid to swim? When do you start teaching a baby to swim? Alcides Agee has some answers for us this morning. Hey, Al.
Hey, good morning, Russell. It could be as young as 6 months old. The earlier, the better, because they don't create those bad habits. Joining us this morning is Corey Nelson. We've been with you pretty much all morning. This is Connor, who's 3 years old. He's completed his 3rd week. This is his 4th week, and he's a heck of a swimmer already.
He's getting there. He's doing a great job. Good flow. Working on getting a more solid swim with him, but he's got a great start.
What technique is this? What are you doing with him?
He's a swim, float, swim. He learns how to swim properly with his head in the water, learns how to float to get air and to rest and to breathe.
Let's see him do some of this stuff.
Go get her.
One thing that I noticed is that there's absolutely no way that I will be able to teach my kid what you're teaching him today. This takes special technique and a lot of patience.
It is. It's all positioning, knowing the right time to reinforce, what to really look for. I teach a lot of kids every day, so I know what I'm doing with the kids. So.
And one thing that I noticed when you flip them over is that when they come around, they easily, if they have their mouth open, they're going to have a mouthful of water as they're upside down.
Right, exactly. That just comes with experience and knowing what to do with the kid. Most kids will figure that out and drink less and less water as they get going, but when they do it correctly, they roll over, get a good breath, and are right on the top of the water, nice and safe.
Okay, you had a student who was 6 months old. We got some video of her as well. You just kind of gave her a little push into the pool, and she fell straight in there, and all of a sudden she was floating.
Yeah, she does a great job. She rolls over really quick, gets her breath, and she can float there for an extended time for sure.
How do you get a child, an infant, to do something like that?
It's all with reinforcement. She gets a position that I want her to be in, and I reinforce that by picking her up and getting her in the position that she wants to be in, and that's being held at that point. So she gives a little move, and I slowly build on that and get her in the right position, and they learn how to do it all by themselves, and they're nice and comfortable.
One tip that you can tell parents this morning.
Keep an eye on your kids. Nice and safe. Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. All right, Corey, thank you for being with us this morning, all morning. I really appreciate it. For more information on these lessons, we're going to work on getting that on our webpage, myfoxtampabay.com, and click on the Seen on TV link. But no question about it, just contact a local swimming instructor. That's one thing that Corey will tell you, just about anybody else will tell you. You want to contact a professional. That way they can teach your child the right way to swim. And at the end of the day, they are life-saving lessons. Back to you guys.